How well do you know the attractions at Disney's Epcot? Well, you can soar around the world, complete a mission into space, let it go with the Frozen characters, or even experience a brand new Guardians of the Galaxy coaster. Today on Walt Disney World Adults Only, we are giving you the full rundown. Are you ready? Welcome, Royal Highnesses. I'm Dan and you're watching Walt Disney World Adults Only. If you're a new viewer to our channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. We really do appreciate it. Today, I'm going to be joined by Taylor and we are taking an in-depth look at all of the attractions at Disney's Epcot. There is literally so much to do and see at this park, educationally, culturally, and of course for pure, unadulterated pleasure too. In this video, Taylor and I will be running through all the rides, attractions and shows that are available to you at this park. As you may already be aware, this is Taylor's favourite park. Taylor, are you ready for this rundown?
I could not be more ready, Dan. You know that I could talk about Epcot basically forever. But before we get started today, let us know in the comments down below which Epcot attraction is your absolute favorite.
Before we dig into all the rides and shows, let's take a couple of minutes just to look back at the history of Epcot. So Disney's Epcot was the second theme park to open at Walt Disney World, opening on the 1st of October 1982. This means that Epcot is going to turn 40 later this year. Originally conceived by Walt Disney during the early conception of Walt Disney World, Epcot was planned as an experimental community that would serve as a centre for American enterprise and urban living. Whilst this ambition was never realised, we were brought Epcot as we know it today. Known as the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, the idea included an urban city centre, residential areas, industrial areas, schools, as well as mass transportation systems too. Whilst the original concept was abandoned after Disney's death, a theme park looking towards the future as well as showcasing world nations was born. Featuring Future World and the World Showcase, the Epcot Centre opened in 1982. In 1994, the centre was dropped from the name and it has hence been known only as Epcot. Over the past few years, Epcot has been undergoing a huge transformation and it's now been divided into 4 distinct neighbourhoods. World Celebration, World Nature, World Discovery and of course World Showcase 2. Epcot is more than twice the size of Magic Kingdom, spanning over 305 acres. Anyway, that's enough facts and history. Let's get on with the purpose of the video today. Let's talk about the shows, rides and attractions that are at Epcot today. I think we'll start at the front of the park and at World Celebration, and what better attraction to start with than the icon of this park. Taylor, tell us all about Spaceship Earth.
I am so excited to be starting here. If you've watched any of our previous videos, then you know that Spaceship Earth holds a really special place in my heart. Of course, you can't miss it. As you round the corner into the Epcot parking lot, this gorgeous geodesic dome looms above the tree line. It took Imagineers 26 months to finish the sphere, and technically it is classified as an imperfect Class 2 geodesic polyhedron. A perfect sphere would hold 11,520 triangles, but Spaceship Earth only has 11,324, for good reason. Disney had to add access points for the cast members to get in and out, and the drainage system prevents some of the triangles to be complete. But that's enough nerd talk. Many non-Disney experts are shocked to learn that there is actually a ride inside. Aptly named Spaceship Earth, this 13-minute dark ride takes you on a time machine themed experience narrated by Dame Judi Dench, demonstrating how advancements in communication have helped to create the future. This is an omni-mover with 1,552 feet of track and a capacity of 2,895 guests per hour, with each car holding 4 guests. This is a Genie Plus available attraction. Since opening, this ride has been updated 3 times, in '86, in '94, and in 2008. In February 2020, Disney announced that Spaceship Earth would be closed for an extended refurbishment that following May. But this refurbishment is now on an indefinite hold due to the COVID pandemic. I personally have ridden this current iteration one last time, 3 or 4 times now. At the exit of Spaceship Earth, you will walk through Project Tomorrow, Inventing the Wonders of the Future. This is an exploration through the latest in high-tech science. You can assemble a digital body using the tech developed to perform remote surgeries, hit the road in a driving simulation game that shows accident avoidance systems, or view your video from the future that you created while riding Spaceship Earth. I've personally never spent much time in here, but it is always fun watching your photo that was taken on the ride zoom towards your hometown in the giant globe in the center of the room. Now, I cannot talk about Spaceship Earth without mentioning the wonderful addition of the 50th anniversary Beacon of Magic. Each evening, the dome illuminates with thousands of lights that have been installed between the panels, resembling stars in a nighttime sky. They dance to music, some of which switches with the current festival, and it's truly an incredible experience. And the best news, it's permanent. After the 50th anniversary, this light show will remain as a defining feature of the newly reimagined Epcot. I'm only getting a little bit emotional thinking about it. I just love it so much. And Dan, I know that you love Spaceship Earth too.
I do indeed, and this one is a must-do for me on every single trip. My top tip for this one though is to ride it later in the day. In the morning, as people enter Epcot, it's the first attraction they come to and everybody gets in line for it, and the wait is really often quite long. But if you leave it to the afternoon when people are in the park, you can pretty much walk onto this ride without any wait at all. And being British, I'm a huge fan of Dame Judy, so relaxing on this ride on a hot day really is wonderful. Let's go to the Imagination Pavilion next, which is also part of World Celebration, and to journey into imagination with Figment. This ride is geared towards encouraging riders to use their senses and imagination. This is super popular with Epcot lovers, but for me it's a take it or leave it attraction. I really don't get the appeal at all. Anyway, Journey into the Imagination with Figment is the 3rd incarnation of this dark ride. This is an Omni-Mover ride with a duration of 6 minutes and each car seats 7 guests. Featuring Figment, a little purple dragon who causes some mischief during the ride, riders are taken through 5 different tests, which are based upon the 5 human senses: sight, sound, taste, touch and smell. For me, this ride is mostly for kids, but it's something to do if there is no queue. This ride is also eligible for Genie Plus 2. Whilst we're here, I'll also mention briefly the ImageWorks What If Labs. This is an interactive area which again is mostly focused towards children. Co-located in the Imagination Pavilion, here you will find stepping tones. These are coloured panels on the floor that you step on to produce music. You'll also find a Figment Melody Maker attraction here, as well as a photograph area too. The Imagination Pavilion is also home to a lounge for DVC members, as well as to the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival too. I've never seen these shorts myself, so I've got no experience to share with you, but maybe Taylor does.
Unfortunately, I can't say that I have. I can watch all of those shorts at home, so I'm not really interested in using my park time to watch them. We are now rounding out World Celebration with 2 brief stops. The first is the Odyssey Events Pavilion, which sits on the lake bordering World Showcase. This opened as the Odyssey restaurant and is now used as a flexible space for festivals and seasonal operations. You're more than likely going to find a festival booth, an art gallery, or both here. Another area we have to look forward to is Communicore Plaza. This is currently being built in the heart of Epcot next to Spaceship Earth, and it will be an outdoor venue that hosts major concerts and more intimate musical experiences. Its sister, Communicore Hall, will be a multi-use building used as a gallery and exhibition space. It will also be the first fully purpose-built structure in Epcot's festival programming. And that is all we have for World Celebration. Time to move over to World Discovery. And it would be silly for me to start anywhere, but with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. This brand new ride opened on May 27th and is the first attraction in WDW based on a Marvel Comics property. This replaced the Universe of Energy ride and Pavilion, which closed in August 2017 and is now located in the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion. At this time, this ride can only be accessed through an individual Lightning Lane purchase or a virtual queue. There is no standby line for this attraction right now. At about 3 minutes long and with 5,577 feet of track, making it one of the longest indoor roller coasters, this is not your average roller coaster. This is what Disney is calling a story coaster. Featuring the first ever backward launch into space, these carts rotate at 360 degrees, taking you along on an adventure with the Guardians of the Galaxy as they, of course, get into mischief while you listen to some amazing tunes like Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Conga, and September. You will be boarding a Star Jumper, which has 5 cars of 4 passengers, totaling 20 guests per ride. You won't be going upside down, but this is still a thrill coaster, and I've heard many people compare it as an in-between of Expedition Everest and Slinky Dog Dash. I don't want to give too much more away because I'm sure many of you are still anxiously waiting to ride this like I am during my next visit. Dan, I am sure you will be prioritizing this for your trip in September, right?
I absolutely will be, Taylor. I'd even pay one of those individual lightning lanes to get on this one. Both Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios and Guardians of the Galaxy Coaster are my 2 priorities for sure. Next, onto an attraction that most of our team hate, but I really love it. Mission Space. Now, Mission Space is centered on space exploration and is actually a centrifugal motion simulator which replicates a space flight to Mars. I absolutely love the theming and the anticipation build up for this ride. It really makes you feel like you're going on a space mission. And the epic music that plays as you approach the motion simulator is just perfect. Now, this ride simulates going into space as an astronaut, and it can cause motion sickness. And this is why half of our team are not fans. So Mission Space offers 2 different ride experiences, which basically are 2 different levels of intensity. Mission Space Green and Mission Space Orange. Green is much tamer and doesn't spin riders in the same way that Orange does. Orange is intense, and it's actually similar to the experience that you would get on a real space simulator. While sick bags are available inside the ride vehicle, my personal tip for you is to keep looking forward. Don't look to the sides, don't look up, don't look down, just keep looking at the screen in front of you, and this hopefully will prevent you feeling too sick. Riders will experience a G-force of 2.5, which is more than twice the force of gravity on Earth's surface. This effectively increases a rider's weight by 2.5. Thank goodness there are no mirrors inside those capsules. The pre-show for this ride lasts 5 minutes and 38 seconds, and the ride duration itself is 3 minutes 55 seconds. There are 4 centrifuges, each with 10 capsules, and each capsule seats 4 riders. It therefore has a capacity of 1,600 riders per hour, and whilst there's rarely a long wait for this attraction, it is eligible for Genie Plus 2. Once you've finished on Mission Space, there is also an advanced training lab where you can play a game as a Mission Space technician. There is also a brand new space themed restaurant in World Discovery called Space 220. We have both a video about that restaurant and also a vlog too. I'll link both of those videos for you in the description down below. Anyway, Mission Space Orange for me on every single trip. I'm not afraid of a simulator. Taylor, please tell me that you are not one of these Mission Space avoiders yourself.
I don't want to be, but I am. I love the idea of Mission Space, but Mission Space does not love me. That being said, I haven't checked out the green side since it's been redone, so maybe I'll swing by and see if I like that on my next trip. And now I'm going to finish up World Discovery with one last ride, an Epcot classic, Test Track. Test Track is a high-speed slot car thrill ride which allows you to design your own car, then board a sim car, which takes you through the digital testing ground of the sim track, where you can see how your designs perform in each test. Sponsored by Chevrolet, this is a Genie Plus available attraction, and it has a single rider line as well. The queue leads you to a design studio where you can create a Chevrolet custom concept vehicle that will be tested on 4 criteria: capability, efficiency, responsiveness, and power. You can make some pretty wild vehicles, and that's all part of the fun. I have played the how inefficient can I make a car game plenty of times. But once you are done designing, you are going to head to the sim track where you will board your sim car. These ride vehicles sit 6 and will take you on a 5-minute, 4,286 foot journey that will reach 65 miles per hour at top speeds as you circle the ride building. After your ride is complete, use your magic band in the Chevrolet showroom to check out your final score, play some games, or take some fun pictures and videos with your concept car or even some real cars. I like Test Track, I really do, but I've had some terrible luck in the past with this ride being down when we want to go on it, being down first thing in the morning, or closing down consistently for rain. So I won't really go on it unless I have a Genie Plus or the wait time is 25 minutes or less. Dan, I haven't really heard you talk about Test Track. Have you been on it?
I have a few times, but it's not one of those rides that I'm really fussed about. It's probably quite a good use of Genie Plus for me because I probably wouldn't queue too long for it, but most people absolutely love it. Let's go to World Nature next and to the Land Pavilion, which is the home of my favourite Epcot ride, Soarin' Around the World. This is a flight motion simulator using a mechanical lift system and has an 80-foot screen. Artificial sense and wind help simulate a hand gliding flight over 6 of the world's continents. I can only describe my first ride on Soarin' as completely breathtaking, and even now when I come off of it after doing it many times, I still feel absolutely exhilarated by the experience. There are 3 theatres for this ride at Epcot, and each has got 3 flight vehicles, each of which has got 3 rows. Each theatre has a capacity of 87 riders per ride, and it lasts for 4 minutes and 45 wonderful seconds. Taylor, please tell me that you love Soarin' as much as I do.
Next to Spaceship Earth, Soarin' is my favorite ride in Epcot and probably one of my favorites in all of Disney. It is so relaxing, and I have been known to shed a tear or 2 while riding it. Man, it's just that soundtrack. Anyway, next to Soarin' in the Land Pavilion, you will find Living with the Land. This is a slow-moving boat ride consisting of a dark ride and greenhouse tour. It is a Genie Plus eligible attraction consisting of 16 boats fitting 40 riders, allowing 1,600 guests to ride per hour. It's a 15-minute journey that begins by illustrating how the forces of nature shape the land and concludes with the best part, a sail through the land's living laboratory, which showcases ideas about the future of agriculture in the giant greenhouse, housing 43,000 square feet of experimental horticulture techniques in hydroponics, irrigation, and integrated pest management. And if you are super interested in this topic, you can take a closer look with a paid tour called Behind the Seeds, which I have heard really great things about. I know many consider Living with the Land boring, but I really love it. We garden every summer, and it always inspires me to up my game a little bit. Plus, it is super cool to see where some of your food in the restaurants come from in Disney. Also in the Land Pavilion, you can find Awesome Planet. This is a 10-minute film about climate change that blends nature photography, in-theater effects, and digital space sequences. This opened in January 2020, and honestly, I completely forget it is a thing every single time I'm there, and I probably should go see it considering I have an environmental science degree, but oh well, maybe next time. I know that you love Living with the Land, Dan, but have you seen Awesome Planet yet?
No, I haven't actually seen it yet, but I really would quite like to, so it's on my list for September. Okay, that's the Land Pavilion complete. Let's go across to the seas. And I'm going to start us off with something that I have done, but I will never do again. Turtle Talk with Crush. Clearly aimed at kids, I've got no idea at all why I did it, but I can promise you one thing, I will never do it again. So this is the character Crush from Finding Nemo, and it's a movie theatre setup looking at a large aquarium style window. It usually lasts between 10 and 16 minutes, and you feel every single minute of it, with Crush interacting with the kids that are sat on the floor. If you've ever heard me talk about the Indiana Jones show at Hollywood Studios, you will know that I am not one for audience participation. And the Turtle Talk with Crush show, I could not have been more bored. In fact, I left early before it had even finished. This show is Genie Plus eligible if you want to interact with Crush, but the wait time generally isn't very long. I will just say though, it's very, very clever how they do it. I can't imagine you liking this one much either, Taylor, not unless it was buy one, get one free on the margaritas.
Very funny, haha. I do love the technology of Turtle Talk, but I think that I like Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor over in the Magic Kingdom more. Bad jokes and puns, it just fits my sense of humor a little bit better. And in this pavilion, you will also find the Seas with Nemo and Friends. This Genie Plus eligible attraction has you boarding a 2-person clammobile to venture into the sea with Marlin, Dory, and other Finding Nemo characters as they, surprise, search for Nemo, who is lost again. Most of the ride consists of screens and practical effects, but the coolest part is when Nemo is found. He and the other characters are swimming in one of the giant aquariums in this pavilion. So you can see Nemo along with real fish, rays, and even sharks. It's pretty cool. The ride takes about 5 minutes and has a capacity of 2,200 guests per hour. But be warned, you will be stuck singing The Big Blue World when this is over because it is such an earworm. I haven't ridden this ride in years because honestly, it annoys the crap out of me. Nemo purposefully runs off and is so annoying and giggling when they can't find him, and I think he is a little brat. But something that I do love is the aquarium you will find yourself in when you get off of this ride. Themed as an underwater exploration base called Sea Base Alpha, you will find several exhibits all devoted to oceanic study. It's actually the second largest aquarium in the United States and houses a 200-foot diameter, 27-foot deep main tank containing fish, marine mammals, and crustaceans. You'll also find the resident sea turtles, bottlenose dolphins, and manatees here as well. There are also some incredible tours available at the Seas if you are interested. And if you want to learn more, I recommend checking out Leanne's video where she and Helen talk about 2 different ones that they have done there. I will link that for you in the description down below. All right, I think that is all for the Seas, but there is a new attraction coming to World Nature, isn't there, Dan?
Yes, there's a new attraction under construction right now, and apparently it takes inspiration from Moana. So, Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is a walkthrough attraction, a kind of garden featuring interactive fountains and other water features too. It is cited to be a whimsical exploration of the water cycle and how it sustains our world. No opening date yet, but work is ongoing right now. Am I excited for this? Well, no, but I'll definitely check it out once it opens. And that brings us on to World Showcase, and boy, there was a lot going on here. Taylor, shall we start in Mexico?
I am one of the weirdos that likes to start my world tour in Canada, but I guess if we're going to the World Showcase to ride, then we can start in Mexico. If you head into the pyramid in the Mexico Pavilion, you will find the Gran Fiesta tour starring the 3 Caballeros. No Genie Plus options here, so you will have to wait in line, but generally it doesn't get more than 20 minutes, and if it is, just come back later. This 8-minute musical boat ride holds 16 guests per vehicle, setting a capacity of 1,656 per hour. It's not fast, there are no drops, but Gran Fiesta Tour is still super great. The 3 Caballeros are to perform a concert, but oh no, Donald Duck has run off, and Panchito and Jose begin a frantic search around Mexico to find him. It's mostly a screen-based attraction with some practical effects, but the ride culminates in an awesome concert with the incredible 3 Caballero animatronics. Is it thrilling? No. But is it still weirdly kind of a lot of fun? Yes. Especially after a margarita or 2. Come on, Dan, Norway next.
I am so happy to have Norway as I love Frozen Ever After. This is a musical reversing log flume dark ride, so cool, and it is set to the hit movie Frozen. Here you will find all your favourite Frozen characters with some of the best audio animatronics ever, and of course it's all set to music from Frozen. Controversially replacing fan favourite Maelstrom, I personally think the retheme is a win, but not everybody is in agreement on that. This ride lasts 5 minutes and is a boat ride in Viking style boats. It is Genie Plus eligible and features a 28-foot drop. Each boat can take up to 16 riders and it turns over around 1,000 riders per hour. A really good ride, particularly if you like Frozen, but this is one that I've never heard you mention, Taylor. Are you a fan?
Yeah, I love Frozen and I used to prioritize fast passes for it, but I'm not really willing to wait in a super long line for it now, which is probably best for the other guests because I tend to get a little singy on it. Also in Norway, you will find the Stave Church Gallery, which houses exhibits on Norwegian culture and Norse mythology. I have walked through this gallery a time or two and I think it's really, really lovely. It's important to me to actually learn about some of the cultures of the country represented in the World Showcase when I'm visiting Epcot. The next country you will come to is China, and there you will find Reflections of China. This is a 12-minute circle vision 360-degree film that takes you on a journey through ancient and modern China. It plays continuously throughout the entire day and is a really nice break from the Florida heat. I have never seen this one, but I'm definitely going to prioritize it for my next trip. Bizarrely, you really like this one, Dan, don't you?
I actually really do, and I've kind of loved 360-degree theatre experiences since I was really young. And this one is especially good as I find China to be a fascinating country. Now, neither the Germany or Italy Pavilion have got any formal attractions, so we're going to head straight to the American Adventure. And this pavilion has got one of Taylor's favourite attractions at Epcot, so it's only fitting that we let her gush about them. Taylor?
Yes, I love the American Adventure Theater Show. Totally kidding. You know that I love the Voices of Liberty. But there is also that theater show, the American Gardens Amphitheater and the Gallery of American Heritage in this pavilion too. I've discussed them before, but the Voices of Liberty are an a cappella singing group that perform under the rotunda with American and Disney classics. See them. Just do it, trust me. They generally perform before each performance of the American Adventure Theater Show. This is a 30-minute dramatic production featuring 35 audio animatronics, digital projection images on a 72-foot screen, and patriotic songs. You will witness landmark events like the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the landing of the Mayflower, the Boston Tea Party, and the Great Depression. It took Imagineers 5 years to complete this show, and I think it is really, really good, if not maybe a little bit long. If anything, it is a nice long break in air conditioning for you. On the first floor, you can also find the American Heritage Gallery, where you can learn about traditional Native influences. This is made possible through a collaboration with the Museum of Indian Arts and Culture in Santa Fe and the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C. And outside, you will find the American Gardens Amphitheater, which hosts concerts, bands, and singers from around the world, especially during festivals. America is a super overlooked area in the World Showcase, and Dan, is it right that you never visit it?
I think that I visited when I was young, like as a teenager, but I've kind of skipped it ever since. But the Voices of Liberty sound incredible, and I'll definitely be stopping by there on my next trip. I'll take us to Japan next, and there really isn't too much going on here in terms of formal attractions. Literally, there is a gallery here which I'll try to pronounce for you, but my Japanese isn't that great. Bijutsu Kan. This is an exhibition gallery hosting long-term exhibits on Japanese art and culture. I don't think I've ever been in here, to be honest. I only found out about it when researching for this video. There are also no formal attractions in the Morocco Pavilion, but France is gifted. The Impressions de France show will not be for everyone. Kind of similar to the China Pavilion, this show is obviously about France, but it's not 360-degree vision. The movie is presented in the Palais du Cinéma and is projected onto 5 screens, which actually gives 200-degree vision. Now, this show has been running since Epcot first opened back in 1982, and it actually holds a Guinness World Record too. The movie obviously takes you on a tour of France and is set to a truly beautiful score. It is very easy to get swept away by the romance of it all. It lasts for a total of 18 minutes, and I wouldn't say it was a bad use of your Epcot time. From the serenity of the Impressions de France to the noisy Beauty and the Beast sing-along. This is located in the same theatre as Impressions de France, and the performance times alternate between the two shows. I haven't been to Walt Disney World since this show premiered, but I cannot wait to go and, well, sing along. Taylor's Orders time. I bet you will not want to sit next to me. Finally, for the France Pavilion, we're going to talk about one of the newest attractions at Epcot, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. Now, I haven't got to ride this yet, but Taylor has, so I'm going to pass it across to her to find out her experience of riding it.
I rode Remy's once, and that's probably all. I wanted to check it out because it was new. You always want to check out the new stuff in Disney, but unfortunately it did really aggravate my motion sickness, and I had to close my eyes for a vast majority of this ride. But that is just me. I know a lot of people really love this ride. It is a trackless 3D dark ride based on the 2007 animated film Ratatouille. With a capacity of 2,220 riders per hour, you will board a 6-person Ratmobile for a 4-minute 40-second ride through Gusteau's restaurant. I will admit that the set pieces on this ride are huge and super cool, but if you tend to suffer from motion sickness like I do, just be warned before you get on this one. Dan, are you looking forward to trying out Remy's?
Not especially. I probably wouldn't queue for it, but if it was a short wait or if I get it on Genie Plus, then I would definitely ride it. Now, the UK Pavilion doesn't have any attractions yet, but there are plans afoot to have a Mary Poppins attraction here in the future, so keep your eyes open for that one. Lastly, we come to Canada and only one attraction here. Canada, far and wide, and this is another 360-degree show. I have done this before, back when it was called O Canada, and whilst it was really good, I do prefer the China one. This updated version opened in January 2020, and so I haven't yet had a chance to see it, but I definitely will on my trip in September. So Taylor, I think we have only one thing left to talk about. Harmonious.
Yes, the nighttime spectacular in Epcot is Harmonious, which opened October 1st of last year and replaced the long-standing show Illuminations Reflections of Earth, along with the interim production of Epcot Forever. This 20-minute show premieres nightly and showcases the culture and stories of the world that have inspired many Disney films and music. Harmonious utilizes pyrotechnics, choreographed water rounds, water curtains, lasers, searchlights, and LED screens to present a 360-degree audio-visual experience. The primary show equipment is notably housed on a collective of floating barges known as the Compass that are permanently moored in the center of the lagoon. 4 of the barges hold the arc-shaped and double-sided LED screens that measure 25 feet high and 88 feet long. The centerpiece platform holds a 6-story tall ring structure where a high-density water curtain, moving lights, and several water fountains, along with 8 moving arms that measure 54 feet long, share the story of the show. Each movement of the show is paired with musical acts from the different origin of countries represented in each movie. There were 240 musicians total used to create the score for this show. You will hear songs from movies like The Lion King, Moana, Brave, The Jungle Book, Princess and the Frog, and so many more. These musical pieces are assorted in 3 chapters: Gather, Celebrate, and Unite, with the farewell message saying, wherever the world leads you next, we hope you carry a song with you and know that the promise of someday begins inside of you today. I personally really need to give this show another chance. I never got to see Epcot Forever, but I just absolutely adored Illuminations, and my first viewing of Harmonious was pretty subpar. It's a little bit too Disney for me, if that makes sense, especially in Epcot. I know that a lot of people really, really love it, but I am still a little bit bitter about them taking away Illumination since it was my favorite show. I'm sure I'll get over it. Dan won't have had the opportunity to see this show yet, but I am sure he is prioritizing it for his trip in September. Well, I think we have covered everything. Please, in the comments down below, let us know if we have missed anything. And as I said before, let us know your favorite attraction in Epcot.
Thank you so much for your help, Taylor. I have enjoyed this series so much, and I've learned something new about every park in researching for these videos. Now, we have videos just like this one about Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, so if you haven't seen those, check them out as well. I'll link them both in the description for you down below, and one of them should be linked for you right here as well now. Anyway, for now, thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you like our channel, please click subscribe and hit that bell as well so you know when our videos come out. We will be continuing this discussion about Epcot in our adult only Facebook group. Please join us there and get involved. I'll link it for you down below.
And remember, never grow up.
That's right, Taylor. Never grow up.